What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review. But before we get into today's VOD review, an important announcement. A D patch has hit the server. This is our first D patch in I don't know how long, but Riot saw that Volibear and Akali were overperforming, and so they have nerfed both of them pretty hard, honestly. Akali, an extra 10 mana, so another whole auto to cast. Her attack speed getting hit by 0.05, which is also pretty significant, and her cast time is reduced. This is going to make it harder for her to kind of like, like dodge abilities and things like that. And then Volibear also is doing really well. My last VOD was literally Volibear. He will no longer leap at the start of the combat with certain positioning. I'm honestly not sure what this... I mean, it means that you can't do the thing where you block volley and then he jumps at the start of combat. I don't really know how this works. I guess maybe they just lock him out from casting for the first couple of seconds or from leaping. His slam does less damage, but they're buffing his fourth auto damage to make him a little bit more of a kind of like a scaling tank rather than just like blowing everybody up with the slam damage. These look like pretty big nerfs to both comps. I will say both comps were performing very highly, and we'll only really know tomorrow once people have gotten some games in on the patch. How strong they are, but to me they look like significant nerfs that should bring these down. I mean, in an ideal world, in line with everything else, because honestly, this patch was everything else, and then Volibear Akali, and then also some reroll, like Jace with certain artifacts, I think is definitely still like the top of S tier. So we will see as the patch turns out. Today we are going to watch some Dishsoap, who had he's streaming literally right now. So honestly, if you watch this VOD, you might be able to still catch him streaming. But he's kind of locked in. He talked about, actually, I was watching a little bit of him and Frodan do the TFT Study Hall podcast, and he said, when the GP stuff was super broken, he kind of like super like locked out of the set and just didn't play that much, and now he's locked back in because you gotta be. All right. His start here is kind of interesting. So we have this Nefiri too, with the Aatrox, with the Gnar as well. I think you'd really like to play this into a comp that I really like, which is Juggernaut Ash. The only downside is we didn't get a bow drop here. You'd love to get like bow drop here, just make Winston like chef's kiss. You're off to the races. Instead, we don't have that, so we kind of have to figure out what our spot looks like. And he does actually, he sold Gnar there, right? Yeah, interesting that he opts to sell the Gnar there and hold on to the Xin Zhao, saying that his early game ward might just be this plus Xin Zhao. I mean, he really wants to guarantee that he has Soul Fighter for the Nefiri here. I'm surprised on the Gnar sell, but I think it is because he has no bow. We also got this golden dupe from minions. What this means is we essentially have to play a 4-cost comp. Feels really bad to play, any kind of reroll with golden dupe as your thing off minions. All right, first dog here, game plan, prep, piercing sight. I don't really love any of these. I mean, game plan, yeah, nice try. I mean, theoretically, this can work in like a crew reroll where you play for like John and Ziggs, but yeah, nice try. Preparation would force you to play reroll, which once again we talked about we don't want. Piercing sight I think is actually pretty solid, especially if you do end up playing into like an Ash line, though I don't really love combat first augment here. And yeah, Dishsoap kind of agrees. He looks at prep actually as his first augment here, which is surprising, but maybe not that surprising, because yeah, like, do we really want to take piercing sight randomly? But we end up getting evil behind measure once again. We don't have a reroll line here. I don't think it makes sense to take this. Pumping up I think could be decent in a spot like this for, like I was saying, potentially Ash. We'll see. Grand Slam there, so we see somebody definitely playing Bear comp here. We see the Crown, but I mean, Crown these days, I don't love it that much, and we are going to end up playing this as our board. It's just kind of hilarious here. And we are going to make the Sunfire Cape. I was thinking about this. Do you want to make this or not? I think it makes a lot of sense. We have an upgraded frontliner. We can honestly, I mean, low-key win streak with this, though we didn't slam his fruit for some reason. Not sure why, because we are going to just barely, I mean, maybe he wants to lose, but if he wanted to lose, why didn't he, well, why did he do that? Yeah, I mean, a little bit interesting. But okay, we are chilling here on this setup. But so I mean, you can really play anything from this spot, right? You have Sunfire, you have the Nefiri with Rod open. You can play the Akali comp, which obviously the patch just came out, so this was pre the patch. You can play Ash if you end up getting towards Guinsoo and stuff like that. I think that's the most natural line to play because you have this Juggernaut opener. And you can also play any AP line. You could play Yuumi, you could play Sorks. Yeah, you can really play it all in this spot here. So Dishsoap really just going to wait for the game to give him some kind of direction. The big thing we do have to figure out is what we are taking off Carousel here. And we do finally, I mean, I love a Midas Touch early. Maybe you could argue Thrill Seeker, but I love a Midas Touch. I mean, it's not weights, so it's between, he's thinking between Thrill and Midas, and yeah, I mean, I've almost never skip Midas Touch, I feel like. It just feels like every single time I see this, I am taking this, though it does feel a little bit bad. I'm pretty sure it does not interact positively. Yeah, like if the Sunfire Burn kills a unit, the Sunfire Burn is not applying Midas Touch, though I guess how broken would it be if it did? Like the Sunfire Burn just proccing it, that would be kind of insane here. Gonna opt to pre-level here, not to make gold in this spot, because he does want to hold on to the Soul Fighters for potential for Soul Fighter setup, though I don't know exactly how we're gonna fit it, because I don't think we can sell Zac, but okay. Bow off Carousel would lean us into Ash. I mean, Tyr would certainly lean us into an Akali, and we can't get either here, so we're gonna be forced to take another Rod here, which I mean doesn't really, I mean it doesn't lean that much towards I mean, yeah, it's like Akali ideally, right? And that's about it. And some kind of other AP line ideally. I wouldn't even mind an Iron Assets here. That's kind of funny. Table Scraps, you would get a slightly higher cost unit because you're getting it after Carousel here, but I don't think it's very good. I think it's just Iron Assets here. It's kind of awkward with odd components. I really like or with even components. I usually like taking Iron Assets when you do have odd components, so it gives you a slam, but we don't have that luxury here, so we will just have to chill on this for our board. And we do pop and go for, okay, so it's between Guinsoo and Tyr there. You could go for Archangel, you could go for Guinsoo. I'm honestly, I mean, you would love to wait and not slam, but I think Dishsoap's just like, well, I need to be strong for these next couple of fights because I am on a 3 streak. Honestly, this one he probably could have won without Guinsoo, so maybe he could have waited on this slam here, but you know, I think his assumption is that we are going to need to make the slams here. Do pick up Udyr as well, who is a great unit to fit on these type of boards. Yeah, this can just be our board for now, which means we're not going to be playing around the Kobuko, and this does give us a very nice level up for just the 4 Jug. I mean, to me, this looks like an Ash game. What is this? Oh, he's looking at like 3rd augment early game. I don't know what I don't care, honestly. Probably just someone in his chat. Oh, was that Beggars Can Be Choosers? Was Beggars Can Be Choosers his last augment? I mean, it can happen when you get these early augments. We do end up losing this fight, so had we not slammed Guinsoo last round, we certainly would have slammed it here, just because we want to make sure that we get that. We opt to put 4 Jug onto this board for now, and he actually full-on sells the Zac. Wow. I mean, even though that could be a level up here, he wants to guarantee that he's making gold, and yeah, doesn't really care at all about holding the Zac. Is going to hold on to some more of these Protector type units for the potential Akali line. I will say, I mean, I think Dishsoap, he's a very good TFT player. You don't need me to tell you that. I think Dishsoap's game plan here was, you know, slam Guinsoo with Rod open, and we can be open to Akali or Ash in this spot here. Now that our next couple of drops are no Tyr, yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. With no Tyr drop, no sword drop here, I do think Ash is just the line, and it's just Guinsoo when you play into Ash. It is a little bit sad that we don't have that Gnar, man. I'm really missing Gnar right now as the Guinsoo holder, and we have Lux instead, but all good here. We are going to win this fight. I was going to pause for Augment, but we have already seen our 3-2 Augment because of this portal. We can level, play Sorks here, and he's just going to play the Lucian over the Kennen just for a little bit of extra DPS, and is probably going to team planner Ash real quick because it's a good comp. So Ash, let's talk about this because I don't think I've actually done like a Juggernaut Ash VOD review yet. One thing I really like about this comp is it does actually have a pretty solid matchup into Akali. You'd think it would be a quite difficult matchup because of the fact that Akali can just snipe Ash. I mean, she's a backliner that just, you know, sits back there. But the nice thing about this matchup is that Akali gets killed by high single target damage and high kind of like damage uptime, and Ash has both of those. So, you know, once Akali comes out of her dash, if Ash gets a kill and then re-aggroes onto Akali, sometimes you just kills her in 1 second. So it's actually a really, really nice, it's a pretty solid matchup as long as you can stop your Ash from getting dashed on by the first Akali dash, which will still be relevant after the patch. You definitely still need to position for that, and I'm sure Dishsoap will do that this game, so we can talk about that as we get further in. But yeah, I like Ash a lot as I wouldn't call it a counter. It's definitely not a counter on the level of like Volibear, being able to just clear Akalis, but it's good enough. Okay. Glove and its belt open here, right? You can go for Evan's Shroud. You can go for Bow for LW. I mean, I do think it's Cloak here. You could even wait around and not make Evan's Shroud here and hope that you can make a Kraken, because that would be 1,000,000,000,000% the next like the ideal last item onto the Ash. So yeah, I expect us to just chill here. Also, what is this? We have Karma Pair here. We have the dupe. We could dupe Karma, but it would be so bad. Do not dupe this Karma, and you're just gonna be playing Gwinsu Karma the entire game. I mean, it would be funny. It would be quite funny, but I don't think it'd be Gwinsu Karma with pumping up is kind of rough. And I mean, honestly, under most circumstances, you would not want Gwinsu with pumping up. I don't think it's like ideal, but there is this kind of idea that Ash has just kind of an illegal attack speed scaling. Her ability, I mean, not only is she just autoing more, so, you know, attack speed makes her auto more, which is good with her ability, but her ability also scales with attack speed. This is why if you ever get a chance to get a Radiant Quintus onto this Ash, it is one of the most broken things in this game. You know, if Dishsoap sees a Radiantify, what do you call that? Radiant refactor. I think I just combined two. Maybe that's what it's called. But if he sees that as his 4-2 augment, I expect him to take that, probably without re-rolling the other ones, just because it is absolutely insane if you can get it onto Ash. Just, you know, guaranteeing that you get that Radiant Quinsu, and it is. I mean, if you've ever seen a Radiant Quinsu Ash, you know what I'm talking about. And then ideally, we do want the Krakens, which that's what we're praying for here. Is one more bow here to make Krakens. Another cloak is actually really nice because now we can make Even Shroud and Krakens. Though another one after that's a little bit awkward. Certainly not backup dancers. We have enough attack speed at this point, so we are gonna make we're gonna make Even Shroud for sure. I mean, you could just finish out your items and make Even Shroud, Declaw, Deathblade. I would be tempted to go for that, but we'll see what Dishy wants to go for here. See Spirit Link. I mean, it's okay in this comp. He's looking at Duo Q here. Also, wow, this was a really weird pause freeze frame here, but I like this a lot in this spot actually. Not only are there a lot of 5-costs that you want on this board, Zyra, Braum, Twisted Fate, and Lee Sin, all of them are very, very solid onto this board. It gives you components that could potentially be bow for our Ash. So yeah, I think this is actually like a really nice pickup here, and it is also econ, which is the one thing that we are lacking in this spot is some extra econ. We do pick up a Twisted Fate and a Yone here. Twisted Fate really nice in this comp, can hold on to some of this Gwinsu stuff. He opts to reforge. I didn't even see the reforger because there's so much stuff going on. Wait. This is really interesting. Okay, so Gwinsu here is going to opt to reforge one of the swords, saying, oh yeah, he has chain here. So he does have Declaw Bramble, Evan's Shroud if he wants it here. He reforges one, ends up hitting another chain vest here. So that's prompting him to make the Edge of Night here, which is interesting because normally when you're playing this comp, you're not really playing for some kind of like duo AD carry. He's gonna play the Yone here, which is really cool actually. Power up here, critical threat, yeah, seems good enough here. The scaling with the Gwinsu seems pretty solid. Only downside to making the Edge of Night is you did lose the IE, which is a great item for the Twisted Fate, but he is going to opt to do this, make the Bramble Declaw like we talked about, and then make Guard Breaker here onto the Twisted Fate with a critical threat. He's going to do pretty well here. So yeah, this actually looks pretty nice. I mean, the TF actually doing work, 10,000 damage, by the way. There's our Ash, though. Now TF is holding our Ash item, so we have to roll down here and hit either Ash 2 or, I mean, if we hit another TF, we can just dupe it, which would be pretty cool. We get the Ash onto the board for now. Continuing to roll down, looking for more jugs here. This is a really flex roll down from Dishsoap, actually. This is kind of crazy. He has a random Cassante on board for now. I mean, he needs to finish his roll down here. But he held on to the bear on the roll down for, I mean, another Edge of Night, another potential Edge of Night holder. And I mean, he doesn't see many Ashes. So this spot is quite awkward. He is crashing out here, I think, because his board is not what he wanted it to be. And now he does finally get this bear in on the board here. Can sell and just sell the Cassante and roll here. And this is going to be our board. I mean, this is really cool. Nice flex stuff from Dishsoap. It's Jug Ash, but he is flexed into Edgelord and Luchador with the Yone that he picked up and the Volley Bear here. And he is tanking. He's tanking an Atrox too. I mean, this spot, I mean, it looks pretty bad. I would say, I think most people would bot 4 from this spot, but I mean, will Dishsoap? Only time will tell. We would pray for a Twisted Fate on Carousel, and there is one, which I do think is our saving grace here. We pick up Twisted Fate off Carousel, and we might be back. We can opt to dupe the TF now, and now we have TF2. Our board's still a little sus in the fact that our front line is an Aatrox too, but I mean, I don't think, I mean, a TF2 is definitely a nice feel good thing here. And yeah, he's even going to sell the Ash at this point and say, I'm playing around TF. I don't really care so much. I am going to play the 6 Jug onto this board, and this is just going to be my setup here. I think this is a beautiful pivot from Dishsoap here. You're going to take round 2. I love this augment so much, and it's really, really nice with the Sunfire. You know, the dummy will make the Sunfire continue to live, and now we are almost stable, I would say. Once again, the only downside is our front line is kind of trash. He's even holding onto the Poppy pair. Dude, is this Dishsoap guy a beast? Like, look at all of the outs he's potentially holding onto here. If he hits Poppy 2, he can play that as his main tank. Finds Lee Sin here, who is a very nice Jug to play on this board. If he, like, normally you do cut Aatrox for the Lee Sin like this. This is normal. I almost wonder if you hold on to the Aatrox just in case you do hit that Poppy 2. And he says, you know what, at this point, my front line's stable enough. I am just going to sell this Poppy pair and chill on this board. And it is a close fight, but he does win it. I mean, I really loved how he played this stage 4. I mean, all of the different outs that he was holding, the potential Poppy 2, I mean, holding on to the Volibear 2. I think this is a really, really nicely played stage 4. And you know what? We'll allow it a little bit of high roll for him with the duplicator and finding the 2 TFs, 1 off carousel. All right, last couple of items here. We still don't have our armor shred, so Evan's Shroud does seem like almost obligatory here. We have the Sunfire, so we don't need to go for that anymore. I think this will just be our TF setup, Winsu Guard with critical augment here. Let's roll down here, try to find some kind of upgrades onto our board. He's even holding Shen here. He's holding Shen for, I guess, the possibility of us finding Braum, and then you can fit Edgelord Lucha in that way, and Bastion. It's kind of woke here. We find the Volley too. Gotta be some kind of damage volley item. Yeah, GS looks beautiful, and then you just go for even Shroud onto the Volibear there. I like it a lot. All right, we actually got kind of, I think that was unstoppable Mundo, which stopped us from our Volibear from jumping. But now our board's pretty strong. Still, the front line is kind of a pile of garbage, but we have made it to I mean, stage 5, and I would say at this point our board's actually looking quite good here. So let's continue on. The 3rd place player just hit a Volibear too, so I mean, lots of Volibears about in this lobby. There is an Akali here, and we're gonna move up here to try to dodge the Akali. Does this dodge Akali? Yeah, I don't think it does. Yeah, I think that's kind of a miss from Dishsoap here, because I mean, I think you're still equidistant from the Akali moving up into that cubby there. So he does get kind of cleared there. So rough fight actually, down to 14 HP for Mr. Soapy. Pick up another set here. So there's actually a big decision. Do you want to roll deep for set 2 here? There are a lot out, which is the big problem, right? He does this scout here, and I mean, look at this, right? This guy has 1, 2 sets, and then the other guy I think has a set 2. Yeah, so there's 5, 6, 7 sets out, including our own. 8 sets out, including this guy's as well, I think. I think it's 8 sets out. So rolling for the last 2 is a little bit suspect. I will say the set unit quite contested. Ooh, look at this. Oh, nice positioning from Dishsoap. Gets his TF to the middle to try to dodge potential Caitlyn ult here. And I think that is a scary Caitlyn 3. The TF dies, but can Volibear clutch it out? I don't know. Oh my god. That's the real Caitlyn, right? I don't think it can. I think we're gonna lose this fight as well. Drop down to 2 HP. Oh my god. I mean, it was a really good try by Dishsoap. Top 6 locked in. At least that's what I tell myself in spots like these. All right, last item here. We don't have much left to itemize here. We're gonna opt to pick up the Gwinsu's Rage Blade here. I mean, you could throw that onto Volley and move Even Shroud up. I don't know if you even really want to do that here. Okay, he is going to itemize Mundo here at this point. Oh, this is honestly a good idea from Dishsoap, and it's something that a lot of people talk about, that honestly Mundo 2 is sometimes better than set 2. And so, you know, at this point where we're pretty far from set 2 with that many out of the pool, we are just gonna itemize the Mundo. Actually, a really good call from Dishsoap. He honestly, I think he would admit that he probably should have done this sooner, but he was hoping to find the set. We barely pick up the dub here. Our Mundo saves the day, and this lobby is so close. I mean, 8 HP, 11 HP. If we can win one more fight, we're actually locked into top 4. That Yuumi board does look pretty strong. I mean, all these boards look pretty strong. So we'll see if we can barely get over the finish line here with this TF here. We move the Mundo in just so he's not getting blown up. This is the Yuumi board here. Volibear hopping there. I mean, this is the best positioning that we can get here. And the Mundo, my god, the Mundo is just flying around the board. Does a jump here. Look how tanky the Mundo is. Oh my god, can TF clutch it out? He barely does. We actually win that fight. That is insane. That's top 5 locked in at this point. Also, didn't even talk about it, but this lobby is stacked. Iron Bog, Cash. Actually, I don't know anyone else in the lobby, but it's got Iron Bog in it, which is pretty cool. All right, I mean, we're probably leveling after this, and I mean, hoping one to high roll one of the last few sets, and two, maybe find like a Zyra or something. Lee Sin 2 would be really, really nice here. There is a Zyra, that's a pretty good pickup. Zyra pair here, kind of have to roll. He's even holding some mirrors here for potential out, but it seems a little bit sus. We do pick up the Zyra here, means that we could maybe move this Gwynsu down to her. Yep, I like this a lot. Sterax is gonna move up to the bear. I think you put the other two items on the bear after the Gwynsus, I would imagine. Oh, he's gonna try to cheese the Edge of Night, put it down like when he needs it. It looks like it's fine though, so he's gonna have to hold on to it for a second. I mean, he's trying to cheese this Edge of Night. Oh my god, after that fight, we are top 4. I mean, what a crazy flex game from Dishsoap. I mean, 6 jug board, but there has not been an Ash. I wanted the thumbnail for this video to be Ash, but he didn't play an Ash like the whole game. So I guess I'm gonna have to make Twisted Fate the thumbnail. I mean, that's still pretty cool. All right, that is a very scary board that does have an Ash on it. So he's looking still to cheese this edge. Okay, he does throw it down at this point. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, it's not like, I mean, I guess he was thinking maybe Volibear like might not need it and we could cheese it onto like Zyra or something like that. But I don't know. I don't think it makes that much sense. We beat Who, and wait a minute. I mean, this is a really close game. We roll down here, really hoping to pick up the set 2. Now that a lot of these players are dead, surely some of these sets are back in the pool at this point, but really just need to focus on positioning and see what we can do here. I would say Mundo is the star of the show this game, by the way. He did so much work here. Trying to move the TF just so that he is in position where he can potentially, you know, like snipe backline a little bit, have some of these cards hit backline. He wants them to get there quickly, along with the Volibear here. The Mundo still tanking here. My god, look how tanky this guy is. Can the TF clutch it out? I think he can, yeah. 14k damage from the TF, cash down to 1 HP. Oh my god, okay. Last item here, Shojin, he's looking, I mean, yeah, Shojin for Zyra, Blua for Zyra. He takes Spark, actually. Wow, I mean, just for the magic damage. I mean, TF is actually, yeah, doing significant magic damage here. Zyra's doing significant magic damage. So yeah, I'll have to take the Spark here. Going to throw this onto Volibear and then move the GS down. Yeah, I like this a lot here. All right. One of our last few fights here, need to do our best to not get Caitlyn sniped. We swap at the last second there. We do have a plant in the corner, and hopefully that will be enough to bait this Zyra, or to bait the Zyra plant will be enough to bait the Caitlyn ult. It does look like it is enough, so this is going to be another fight win. Breath, wait, BR Cash? I don't know why I called him Breath. BR Cash down, and I mean, we got one. Job is not done yet, though. One more person for this to be a top 1 here. Still tanking the Mundo here at 6-6. It's kind of funny. We now have the set 2, but he's still tanking the Mundo. I wonder if he would agree. I mean, I do think sometimes Mundo 2 is better than set 2 just because he has that that effect. And honestly, versus this board, it probably is Mundo, just because he can kind of like immune a Caitlyn ult with his Luchador effect. All right, we have our TF in a good spot, though. I will say this Jace is a lot tankier than last time. The Mundo did good work, but I think we're finally gonna fall here. Oh, that fight was so close, actually. But still, I mean, a really nicely played top 2 from Dishsoap. I mean, to play what is essentially Ash Juggernaut, never hit on Ash, found the random TF2, but then played the flex board with Volibear, tanked the 2-star Mundo. I mean, this was a really cool game. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoy the patch after the D patch, which might be out by the time this video is released. If not, it'll probably be released like an hour after this video comes out. I don't know, check Riot Games, like TFT Twitter or something like that. Or join my Discord. Maybe someone will say when it comes out. All right, thank you guys for watching. As always, if you enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe, check out my Twitch, my Metafy, all my links down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, did I already say that? Bye.